I spent 34 years as a teacher.
For the first 10 minutes of teaching, I was terrified, and then I fell in love with it.
I am so grateful that teaching was my ministry. It was such a gift.
Many sisters, brothers, and religious order priests served for little pay.
One year, I had a classroom of 68 children.
I was chaplain for the ice hockey team and loved it, even the 6:30 a.m. practices.
Today, hundreds of religious communities lack retirement funds.
I loved helping the kids stage musicals.
Gifts to the Retirement Fund for Religious help provide for medications, nursing care, and more.
Back then, we didn't earn much, but seeing a child learn was really priceless.
Please give to those who have given a lifetime. Donate at your local parish.
Thank you, and God bless you.
Coming up on this edition of Reel to Reel.
I'm Steve Kiltonick. I'll have the story of a Chicopee school which is celebrating 100 years of Catholic education.
And an update on 19 retired Sisters of St. Joseph who moved from Mount Marie to facilities in Framingham and Milton. These stories and more are just ahead on this edition of Reel to Reel from St. Joan of Arc School in Chicopee.
From throughout Western New England and beyond, this is Reel to Reel, your window on the world around you. Here is your Reel to Reel host, Sharon Roulier.
Hello and welcome to Reel today as we come to you from St. Joan of Arc School in Chicopee. This year, this Catholic elementary school is marking its centennial anniversary. St. Joan of Arc is located in the Aldenville section of the city and was established 100 years ago in 1914. For much of its long history, it was staffed by the Sisters of the Presentation of Mary. Its foundress, Blessed Anne-Marie Riviere, was a true educator, and many say her spirit is very much alive here today. Steve Kiltonick will have more on this anniversary later on in our program, and it's important to remember those sisters who gave their lives in service to schools like St. Joan of Arc. This weekend, we remember them through a special collection for retired religious. And perhaps there's no community more in need of this assistance than the Sisters of St. Joseph. For many years, their mother house was located in Holyoke at Mount Marie. This past summer, the sisters entered into a purchase and sale agreement with Trico Partners. That sale just became final, and with it, the realization that the community needed to find places to live for their retired sisters who resided at Mount Marie. Well, I am very pleased to report that I recently visited with all of these retired sisters in their new residences in Framingham and Milton, and they are all very happy in their new surroundings.
When we first heard the news that the Mount was going to be sold and that we were going to be in other places, most of us were really devastated. Oh, how could this happen?
Sister of St. Joseph Louise Thomas served in the Diocese of Springfield for many decades. She's remembered fondly as the teacher who produced the fantastic plays at Holyoke Catholic High School and Blessed Sacrament Elementary School. She is one of 19 who moved from the Mount this past summer. She now lives at Bethany Healthcare Center in Framingham, operated by the Sisters of St. Joseph of Boston. 5 other Sisters of St. Joseph from Springfield made the move with her to Bethany. 2 others live right next door at St. Joseph's Convent. Although the sisters say they initially feared the change, they could not be happier since they arrived.
These people have been very welcoming, very kind. You can have anything you need, and you have the medical care. And we're very grateful for that.
Sister Patricia James Sweeney, who had served as Cathedral High School's principal for many years in the 1980s, is at St. Joseph's Convent, which is more like apartment-style living.
Well, living here is like living on vacation. You know, one, we don't have any work to do, but aside from that, the sisters have been wonderful, very welcoming.
It was obvious that she brought her quick wit and sense of humor with her. So being a sister of St. Joseph from Springfield and then living with Sisters of St. Joseph from Boston, are there any differences?
Do you want this privately or public? No, I'd say we're very much alike, but the sisters are extremely welcoming. I hope that if positions had been reversed, we would have been as nice. But
many from St. Thomas the Apostle School in West Springfield will remember Sister Jean Schneider. She and her twin sister, Sister Joan Schneider, are part of a 5-person support team that moved out to the Boston Archdiocese to manage the sisters.
It was like a godsend, you know. I taught for a number of years, and looking toward retirement, I said, this opportunity will never come again. You know, so I'm delighted. We're all delighted to be here.
There are 11 SSJs who moved to Fontbonne Convent in Milton.
It's basically a retirement home for the sisters. It's not a nursing facility. It's just a place where the sisters can come and live. Some of them are still working sisters, sort of like we had at the Mount.
One of the 11 is Sister Alice Kenny, who served in the Springfield Diocese for 68 years, including as principal of Cathedral High School in the 1970s. She says she loves her new home.
We came on a Thursday, and by Sunday I knew everybody's name. And by the following Thursday, I felt as though I'd always lived here. It was like the old days when we got missioned. You got a letter, they said go to Timbuktu, you went, you moved in with the new community, you made friends, life went on, we were about the mission no matter who we were with, and that's how it is here.
And here is where you find Boston Sister of St. Joseph, Prudence McCarthy. She has been an SSJ of Boston for 74 years, and at 93, she knows the score. She says the sisters from Springfield are a blessing.
They are a perfect joy to our house. They brought a lot of happiness, and we feel as though we've always been together. We used to call them our country cousins, but now we call them our sisters.
It was wonderful to see the sisters doing so well and really happy in their new homes. And speaking of retired religious, joining me now is Sister Judith O'Connell, Vicar for Religious for the Diocese of Springfield, with information on the annual collection for the Retirement Fund for Religious taking place across the United States and parishes this weekend. Thank you so much for joining us today, Sister Judith.
It's my pleasure, Sharon.
Now, Sister Judith, I think most of us are familiar with the annual collection that benefits so many retired religious sisters, brothers, and religious order priests in our diocese and across the country. But I think we still need to hear just how important this collection is each year.
The fact that we're beginning our 27th year with this collection indicates just how important it is. In the course of these 26 years, this country has given over $700 million to support this cause, and it still isn't enough. And some of the religious communities, there are 590 that are eligible, but 424 receive the direct assistance because the ones who give their monies back realize that they can struggle a little bit longer, and they know that this money can be helpful to the ones who are really desperate.
And for those who would like to donate, how can they do so?
The parishes have collection envelopes that are available as well as in their collection packet. And we here in the diocese will also receive donations.
All right, Sister Judith O'Connell, thank you so much and best of luck to you.
Thank you.
And again, if you would like more information or to donate to the Retirement Fund for Religious, you can do so through your parish, and we will also have more information on our website at iobserve.org. And still to come on Reel to Reel, Steve Kiltonick takes a look back at the 100-year history of St. Joan of Arc School. And Rebecca Drake has an update on what folks can expect to find in their upcoming edition of the Catholic Mirror. These stories and more are still to come on this edition of Reel to Reel.
The Chalice of Salvation, your weekly spiritual connection. I'm Passionist Brother Terrence Scanlon, your Chalice host, inviting you to join us Sunday at 10 a.m. This week, we welcome Father John Brennan from St. Patrick Parish in Munson and St. Christopher's Parish in Brimfield. The Chalice of Salvation, your spiritual connection, Sunday morning at 10, right here on 22 News.
I spent 34 years as a teacher.
For the first 10 minutes of teaching, I was terrified, and then I fell in love with it.
I am so grateful that teaching was my ministry. It was such a gift.
Many sisters, brothers, and religious order priests served for little pay.
One year, I had a classroom of 68 children.
I was chaplain for the ice hockey team and loved it, even the 6:30 a.m. practices.
Today, hundreds of religious communities lack retirement funds.
I loved helping the kids stage musicals.
Gifts to the Retirement Fund for Religious help provide for medications, nursing care, and more.
Back then, we didn't earn much, but seeing a child learn was really priceless.
Please give to those who have given a lifetime. Donate at your local parish.
Thank you, and God bless you.
I'm Dan Dumas with your Reel to Reel news brief. Just after Thanksgiving, a local seminarian took another important step forward in his goal to be ordained as a Catholic priest. Terry Hegarty reports now from South Deerfield.
At his home parish of Holy Family in South Deerfield on a brisk wintry morning, seminarian Ryan Sleva was ordained a transitional deacon by Bishop Rosansky. The November 29th ordination took place as part of an 11 a.m. Mass in the traditionally Polish church.
Most Reverend Father, Holy Mother Church asks you to ordain this man, our brother, to the responsibility of the diaconate.
Well, it's kind of a whirlwind. There's all sorts of, so many people came out that you've got all sorts of people that you want to meet and thank and say hello. So focusing on the moment is somewhat difficult, as you can imagine. But no, I'm just very grateful for all that, nevertheless.
More than 200, 40 of whom were members of the clergy, attended the Mass. The transitional diaconate is undertaken by men who are in their last year of preparation for the priesthood. The 26-year-old Deacon Sleva is the only candidate for the priesthood for the diocese in 2015. Of all the new responsibilities that accompany being a deacon, Deacon Sleva says he is most looking forward to being able to preach.
I know when I first came to seminary, the prospect of preaching terrified me. But now that terror has gone away, I'm actually looking forward to preaching very much.
The Mass was concelebrated by many clergy members and by 3 bishops, Bishop Rosansky, Springfield Bishop Emeritus Timothy McDonnell, and Auxiliary Bishop of the Archdiocese of Boston, Arthur Kennedy. Bishop Kennedy had, until recently, served as rector of St. John's Seminary in Brighton, where Deacon Sleva has been attending since 2010. Father Gary Daly says that the people of the diocese will be well served by Deacon Sleva.
Ryan has a monastic heart, and which means that he's very prayerful. He has a great sense of the godly, in a sense, and I think they're going to find in him a great depth, a spiritual depth, because he is a man of prayer.
There are 11 seminarians now in priestly formation for the diocese. Deacon Sleva will continue his seminary education and will serve on the weekends at Our Lady of the Valley Parish in East Hampton. Deacon Sleva's ordination to the priesthood is scheduled for June 6, 2015, at St. Michael's Cathedral in Springfield.
Well, when Father Gary Daly isn't busy wearing his vocation director hat, he's leading the charge at the UMass Catholic Newman Center, where he is director. And this fall, they took the Newman spirit out of the center to a few football games. With marching bands and thousands of students for company, representatives of the Newman Catholic Center at UMass evangelized tailgaters before a recent UMass home football game in Amherst. Father Gary Daly says the new effort is a fun way of letting students know that they are always welcome at the Newman Center.
Well, the whole clam chowder at the tailgates came from a suggestion from our development board, actually. And it was a great suggestion because if we expect students to come to Newman, we have to go out to the students. And so this is our way of getting out into the community, out to where the students are, and handing out free clam chowder to the students and getting the Newman Center name out.
Newman Students Association members, Father Jonathan Reardon and Newman Center personnel, were also on hand to greet students and dish out some hot clam chowder on a chilly night.
So the Newman Center is important to me because it is literally a home away from home for me. Both Father John and Father Gary are literally just like my foster parents away. They provide me with support, help. They're two people I can go to whenever I need them.
After the game was over, UMass came away with the win 24-10 over Ball State University, letting students know that there is a permanent place on campus where they can always find friendly, caring people to help them through their college years and beyond. And our best wishes to all college students facing their fall final exams over the coming days. And remember, to stay informed on all the happenings, you can log on to our news and information website, iobserve.org. There you'll find up-to-the-minute and accurate news in the Catholic Church, both here in the Diocese of Springfield and beyond. That's our news and information website, iobserve.org. And of special note, the Christmas season can be hectic, but make sure you find some time to reflect on the real meaning of Christmas. We've added a link for all upcoming Advent and Christmas events and Masses being held at our diocesan parishes. Log on to iobserve.org and check out the link for the Advent and Christmas listings. I'm Dan Dumas, and that's your Real to Real News Brief.
We've all been there. We had everything planned out perfectly. For a wedding, a work presentation, a school project, a holiday meal, or a family vacation. Then suddenly, the unexpected something happens. An illness, an accident, a car breakdown, a broken relationship. Or in the case of the cover story in the December-January issue of the Catholic Mirror, the birth of a third child becomes the birth of 3 children, triplets, to a local couple already struggling to survive a tough economy. Advised to abort 2 of the infants, Jose and Elizabeth followed their faith and their hearts and welcomed the 3 baby boys into their busy family life. In Hampshire County, a man who had drifted from his faith found his way back by teaching himself to build wooden creches. In the Berkshire County city of Pittsfield, 90-year-old Eleanor Auger continues to knit hats for premature babies, 2,800 of them and counting, in spite of the quadruple bypass surgery she underwent several years ago. These stories of how strong faith helps people face life's unexpected challenges are the ones 8th grade students at St. Michael's Academy in Springfield say are the most engaging for young Catholics. The students shared their responses and recommendations for the Mirror when I visited their science classroom. And Bishop Rosansky reminds us that we all have a part to play in the script provided by the Gospels. Finally, a special note. The December Mirror had already been printed when we received the news that our beloved Bishop Emeritus Joseph McGuire had died on November 23rd at the age of 95. We will have coverage of the wake and funeral and personal remembrances in our next issue. So, amid the baking and the wrapping, the worrying and wondering if our Christmas celebrations will be all we hope for, We as Christians know that God's gift to us, our baby brother Jesus, is with us always, and in unexpected ways, reminding us that God's plan is the perfect one after all. At the editor's desk, I'm Rebecca Drake.
You are watching Reel to Reel, your window on the world around you. Here again is your Reel to Reel host, Sharon Rulier.
St. Joan of Arc School offers a Catholic education to students from pre-K through 8th grade. Like other Catholic schools, it offers learning rooted in Christian values, and over the years, it has also remained true to its French heritage. 2014 has been filled with many exciting events at the school, which has been celebrating 100 years of Catholic education. Steve Kiltonick now delves into St. Joan of Arc's history and explains how the school has managed to keep attracting students across the generations.
In the mid to late 1800s, French immigrants from eastern Canada and Quebec made the trek south to Chicopee to work in the mills of Chicopee and Holyoke. They eventually founded St. Rose de Lima Parish in 1909, which has since served as the spiritual center of the French community in the Aldenville section of the city. Synonymous with the parish is St. Joan of Arc School, which stands across the street from St. Rose de Lima Church. When the school was founded in 1914, it was the parish's first pastor, Father Joseph Fredette, who gave the school its patron and namesake, St. Joan of Arc. It was through her example that the Franco-American youth of the parish were given a model of heroic dedication.
When they built this school, it became St. Joan of Arc, and basically because of the courage and perseverance of St. Joan, and those were the two qualities they wanted to embed in the students: perseverance, courage, love of duty, sense of duty, loyalty.
The school, which was originally housed for a number of years on the second floor of the old wooden church, officially opened its doors in 1915 to 178 students. For the past century, students have strived to live by the values associated with the Latin words etched above the entrance doors: truth, knowledge, and virtue. In 1926, Monsignor Jean-Baptiste Lamotte felt a larger building was needed to accommodate the influx of large French families. In 1927, the new school opened to 700 students, staffed by 19 Sisters of the Presentation of Mary, who instilled strong Catholic values and discipline.
We had something called in the early grades in claquette, and claquette was a wooden piece, and if you were, especially the boys, weren't quite paying attention, you'd get la claquette, and you'd get hit. But it was all in, discipline.
In the 1960s, lay teachers started to arrive. Today, the Sisters of the Presentation of Mary no longer teach here. However, the school mission has remained virtually intact.
Part of the mission is the same in terms of the respect and the dignity with which we treat each other as well as the children. I think the new part of the mission statement, though, is to keep up with the curriculum in today's world, including the technology. So the core values are, yes, definitely the same.
During 2014, the school has been celebrating its centennial year. A series of events was held to commemorate the school's special anniversary. These included a blessing of the classrooms on Epiphany by Father William Turigny, a wine and cheese party where student art was displayed, and 8th grade students interviewed former alumni about their experiences at St. Joan of Arc. Their responses, along with a photo, are posted on the hall walls. One of the more visible events took place in May, when the entire student body walked the surrounding neighborhood carrying centennial posters displaying their school spirit. Paula Donnet is both a graduate of St. Joan of Arc as well as a teacher. For her, it's been a family affair here.
And I have a sister and two brothers. We all came here. And actually my aunts and uncles on my father's side all came here before that, and my father. I loved going here because we had large classes, but the environment was excellent. It was mostly nuns when we were here, and I was well prepared academically and morally or religiously. I think that's the big thing. It prepared me for life as a person.
Susan Kerpaska has taught at St. John's for 25 years. Her family history at the school also goes back a long way. 5 generations of Kerpaska's family were educated here. Kerpaska appreciates what she learned from the sisters.
The sisters instilled a strong Catholic identity in us. It became a part of our everyday life. I can't picture my day in a classroom not being able to bring God and into my lessons, into the everyday teaching. And I think that's what they did for us.
First grade teacher Patricia Mead has been at St. John's for 22 years.
I like the relationship between parents, church, and school. It's kind of a trinity effect, if you will, that everybody is supporting each other. We're all working together.
French is still the official language taught at St. John's. It's offered as early as Mead's first grade. Students learn all their prayers in French and say a decade of the Rosary each day. The culmination of the anniversary took place on November 9th with a centennial mass and an open house which was held here at the school. Alumni, teachers, students, and Sisters of the Presentation of Mary gathered to walk the halls, reminisce, and rekindle old friendships. 24 sisters drove from Maine and New Hampshire to attend the event. Sister Marie Lausier was principal in 1970 when there were 735 students.
It was an overwhelming thing when it's your first time as principalship and you have that amount of students. But I had a great team of sisters, great and lay teachers at that time.
Sister Janice Perot taught history and religion.
I taught junior high, and it was a real challenge because it was my first experience with junior high kids and their raging hormones.
Sister Rita Martel, who taught science to 7th and 8th graders, offered an explanation as to why the school has survived 100 years.
I think what kept it open is the spirit of Mother Reevy. She is still here, and we feel her inside of these hallways.
For David Lajeunesse, this was his first time inside the school in half a century.
The nuns and the principles that they taught us have stuck with me forever and ever. And the basic principles of religion has given me a good grounding for my future life.
After the open house, a centennial mass was held at the church. Father Turigny praised the St. Rose de Lima community, the sisters, the current teachers, and 2 former pastors for merging the St. John and St. George schools, Father Ron Lucier and Monsignor Leo Leclerc. The highlight of the Mass occurred when the sisters stood as a group and sang an emotional Laissez en taille contemplant. After Mass, a celebration lunch was held at the Castle of Knights in Chicopee. The sisters received a surprise gift when Sister Perot accepted a check for $17,600 on behalf of the congregation. The money, which was donated by parishioners, alumni, and businesses, will go towards the sisters' retirement fund. Franco-American recording artist José Vachon entertained the crowd with her music. As St. Joan of Arc closes the door on its first 100 years, a new chapter begins as the legacy of the school is passed on to a new generation of students. For Real to Real, I'm Steve Kiltonic.
Well, congratulations to all of the students and staff here at St. Joan of Arc for reaching such an important milestone. That is no small feat in today's day and age. We wish you all the best as you embark with much hope in a new era. And for this week, that's Real to Real. Thanks to Principal Paula Jenkins and everyone here at the school for hosting our visit today. If you would like more information on St. Joan of Arc, you can find a link on our website at iobserve.org. And remember, you can always find the latest news on the Catholic Church, both in the Diocese of Springfield and around the world by logging on to iobserve.org. Or you can also like us on our Facebook page. And before we close, a word of thanks to all who gave so generously and supported our Christmas appeal. Your donation helps keep Real to Real and the Chalice of Salvation on the air. And we will offer a Christmas morning liturgy for the intentions of our benefactors Christmas morning at 11 a.m. on WWLP 22 News. And please join me again next week for our Christmas edition of Real to Real, your window on the world around you. Have a great week.
Real to Real is a production of the Catholic Communications Corporation, funded in part by the annual Catholic Appeal, and the support of you, our faithful viewers.